All right, welcome everyone. This is the Team Funspire call with Team Imagine More, Katherine Cushen, and it is March 7th. I had to look at the date. Yes, I did. I'm super excited to hear from Katherine. She's going to talk to us about consistency tonight, and she is like the queen of consistency. She is an SC All-Star legend. She's got 36 months in Success Club. She's a lifetime 2-star with 4 personally sponsored lifetime diamonds. And she was the 2014 Financial Independence Award recipient. And as if that wasn't cool enough for y'all, her husband created the Coaching Codes app that we know and love and use all the time. So I'm going to turn it over to Katherine and take it away, girl.
Hey guys, yeah, so my husband he's got earphones on, he's in the room. I thought maybe he heard the shout out, but he totally missed that. So I'm really flattered to be here. When Jenna was like, hey, would you talk on my team call? I was like, sure, but what do you want me to say? And she's like, well, I've been following you forever. I've seen you grow up basically with Beachbody, and I just feel like you have a lot to offer. And I was like, who, me? Okay. Whatever. I was like, but just fair warning, I have no idea what's going to come out of my mouth. And I'm not a teacher. I didn't make slides for you guys. I have lists everywhere. That's how I run my business. But I'm a Ruby personality. So have y'all all taken the gym quiz? Does everybody know what I'm talking about? Okay. So I'm a Ruby personality. If you tell me a goal, then I'm like, all right, let's go. But if you tell me to help people and save the whales, nah, not so much. So, don't get me wrong. I want to save the whales and I love helping people, but my personality is all about, beating myself. So that is kind of what I want to share with you guys. I want to start with kind of telling you who I am, because I know I see you guys in groups a lot, but we don't really interact a lot. So I want to tell you a little bit of my story and how I started as a coach. And I'm super distracted by her cat in the, the window, or the dog, or whatever that is. Anyway, so I have a little bit of ADD apparently, but I'm going to tell you how I went from this girl that hates shakes to a full-time Beachbody coach. So when I first started, I joined my first challenge group in March, this 3 years ago. So this is my 3-year anniversary. March 28th is when I signed up as a coach. And I told the first thing I told the girl was, all right, but how do I cancel home direct? I don't want to be locked into this thing. So she was like, oh, it's easy, whatever. And so I'm one of those people, if you tell me to do it, I'll try anything once, as long as it's not going to hurt me. So I wish I had more people like that in my life. So don't we all, right? So I said, all right, here we go. So I signed up for a challenge group, and it was a lot of fun. And Shakeology was on. Okay, first of all, my first recipe was terrible. Never tell people to use water and almond milk and cantaloupe and vanilla, because it's terrible. This was this girl's favorite recipe, and I was like, you've lost your mind. So anyway, don't do it. I love my coach, but don't do that. But after that recipe, Shakeology was the first shake that didn't make me gag. Legitimately, no thank you. I don't do protein shakes, which, as we all know, Shakeology is not a protein shake, but I don't do shakes. They're not my thing. So I immediately felt better. I went from having to take a nap every day to being wide awake and ready to work out before work. And anybody that knows anything about me knows that I freaking hate mornings. I do not do mornings. When I started really building my business, so I'm skipping ahead a little bit. When I started building my business, my goal was to get rid of the alarm clock. That was my motivation, because the idea of having to wake up because somebody told me when I had to be somewhere just sucked the life out of me. It was just not me. So fast forward a little bit, people around the office noticed that I was feeling better. I was posting about it on Facebook because I didn't really know what I was doing. And anyway, I hit Success Club my first month, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Made a little bit of money. I paid for my shakes. And then somebody said, if you do this 12 months in a row, Ruby personality, you do this 12 months in a row, and you'll be a Success Club all-star. And I was like, well, I'm an all-star. I want to be an all-star. So that was how I decided, all right, I'm going to be a Success Club all-star. It was really that simple for me. And so pretty much 2 weeks in, I knew that Success Club was going to be a non-negotiable for me. I didn't know anything about building a team. I didn't know anything else. All I knew was there's a little bit of recognition if you can help 3 people for a year. So that was my goal. Then like I should have looked it up for you guys, sorry. But then like I was probably maybe 2 or 3 months into the business, and somebody said, you know, if you were Emerald, like there's this whole other recognition. And I was like, Emerald? What is Emerald? So I signed up my first 2 coaches, one of my sorority sisters and one of my coworkers, because I didn't even know my husband at the time. And that'll lead me to something else later. But so my first 2 coaches were friends, and I didn't know I needed to sign somebody that mattered. Like I didn't know that those spots were important. In fact, when I started building my team, you know how you build far and wide? I built far and wide. And then I built the inside leg of my coach on my weak leg. So I was like, oh no, once I figured out what I'd done. But it didn't matter. Like I ended up putting some rock stars there. And then, you know, my husband is at the top of there because I transferred him into that business. But so I went from Emerald to Diamond in about 5 months because, again, I didn't realize like this was a thing. So I went to Diamond, and then I went to 1 star, and then, you know, 2 star, and I've had diamonds come and go. But she asked me to talk about consistency, and like my team has not been super consistent, but I have. So while I've hit Success Club for the last 36 months, I don't have other people on my team that have done it with me. And that's going to happen to you guys too. What I have done is I've been really consistent about sharing on social media. I've been really consistent about talking to people. Even when it scares the crap out of me to talk to somebody, I'm like, hey, have you heard about the Shakeology stuff? Because especially like if y'all have done any of the trainings for Shakeology, if you've listened to Darren O'Wayne, if you've ever heard him open his mouth, if you don't know who he is, then we're all in trouble here. But if you've ever heard him open his mouth, then you know that you are drinking the right shake. You know that you are spending your money on the right stuff. And if you don't wholeheartedly believe that and understand that, then you will never be successful in this business. Because, fun fact, Shakeology is 70% of your income. Like, corporate tells you this, it is 70% of your income. So now that can be like from volume that rolls up in your team or commissions, whatever, but added together, people drinking Shakeology that are associated with you in some way is 70% of your income. That's huge. Like, that is a really big number. So, you know, that while, you know, hitting Success Club is a big deal, even if you just have people that are on Home Direct, that's huge, guys. So helping your challengers be consistent and you being consistent in your consumption of Shakeology is going to be a huge make or break for your business. So I mentioned earlier that my husband, I did not know him. So when I signed him up, I actually transferred him into that coworker that had signed up. I transferred him in to the top spot in my business. Does everybody have somebody special in that spot? Because if you don't have somebody special signed up yet, then you need to sign them up immediately. And here's why. Because Jake has only, my husband's name is Jake, he's only been Emerald for not even that long. I should look this up too. Sorry. Not that long. But he has already banked in bonus cycles as an Emerald $18,000 worth of volume. $18,000. Like, not 18,000 points, $18,000. So when I do get around to building that leg, when I do get a chance to build his weak leg, like, y'all, like, I'm sitting on this money just waiting on me to capitalize on it. And that is insane. So if you, like, maybe you're in a weird dead spot, like, I don't have anybody helping me build my team. It's me and my team that's building. At the very beginning, I did have some people. There were a handful. Hey, Rachel, there were a handful of people that were, like, placing some people under me. But once my team became a powerhouse, that nobody helps me anymore. So for us to have banked that much, like on Jake's account, him not even being there that long, it's huge. So I'm telling you now, if you've not signed a spouse or a mom or somebody that, like, you love, you need to do it right now. And then as soon as you get yourself to Diamond, you need to make sure that they are Emerald. Because once they are Emerald, they will start banking that volume too. So I talk about this a lot because I don't think people realize what a huge like opportunity that is. And that was kind of like my third point, was why Emerald is so important. If you are not Emerald, if you are not holding Emerald, then you are just like throwing money away every week. Even if it was just one Shakeology order in your downline, that is 90 volume points that you could have been capitalizing on next week. But if you are not banking it, then you are not, like, it's just not there. So I'm not going to call anybody out, but if you are not Emerald, or if you are not holding Emerald, that get yourself Emerald. And like I said earlier, like, I didn't know, like, I did it accidentally. So don't be me, like, be very intentional. And in fact, like, of my active coaches, I should have looked this up too, most of them are or have been Emerald, because they understand that. So while I have a pretty big team, almost everybody is Emerald, because I don't want anybody wasting that money if they've ever even considered building this business. So I know, I don't know about in here, but on my team, I've heard a lot that people have unsupportive spouses. If they will not let you sign them up, that is kind of their loss. If they are an unsupportive and you are not married to them, girl, bye. Like, nobody's got time for this. Like, you need somebody in your life, and I'm saying this from Mandy knew me in college, so she can tell you, like, my college boyfriend sucked the life out of me. And if somebody's in your life sucking the life out of it, like, girl, get out. So I need to throw that out there, because I know that there are not always people that that are in your life that are supportive, and those are not the kind of people that we need to surround ourselves with. That's one of the reasons why I love this community so much, because I know that even though I don't know you guys all that well, if I called one of you and was like, oh my God, like, y'all would talk to me, you know what I mean? Like, y'all would support me and you would try to help me through whatever it was. And that is the kind of people, that is how Beachbody has changed my life. So, for instance, that, anyway, so I don't know, how many of you, are any of you Diamond? Are you almost Diamond? Close to Diamond? Are we getting Diamond? Are we pushing for Diamond? When are we going to be Diamond? Before Summit, right? Yeah. How about by June? Because I think that's reasonable. Like, that's super cool. I mean, actually, that's too far away. It's March. How about by May at the latest? Everybody on this call should be Diamond, because that's not hard, guys. That's 8 people plus 2 people having 2. Like, if I beat you in my second CBC to Diamond, you're doing something wrong. Like, you're not asking enough people. You're not sharing the coach opportunity. You are not, like, either, or you just don't want it. And that's okay too. If you don't want it, cool. Like, there's no judgment here if you don't want it. But there's no reason why you can all not be there if you want it. And I say this also, that, you know, you need to help your team be consistent, and help them hit Success Club, help them realize the potential of this business. I'm going to share a quote with you that I got from NLC. 5% of coaches that were not team leaders at the end of the year last year were not or 5% of coaches that were not team leaders were Diamond at the end of the year last year. Wait, I'm doing this way wrong. 59% of coaches that were team leaders were still Diamond at the end of the year. So only 5% of coaches that were not team leaders were still at the end. Does that make sense? Did I say that all wrong? Did anybody catch that? Okay. 59% of coaches that were team leaders at the end of the year last year were still Diamond. But only 5% that were not team leader were still Diamond at the end of the year. So if you are not helping your team build, if you are not instilling that belief in them, if you are not teaching them how to be consistent and how to, like, not fall off the wagon, or to whatever it is, then you will not hold that rank. So if Diamond is your goal, then you have to be helping them too, because the people that got me to 2-star are not going to be the people that get me to 5-star. So I know that was like a lot of like whatever all in one, but team leader, first of all, if you're not Emerald, be Emerald. Sign up somebody you care about. Be a team leader. Be Diamond. Do it now. I kind of wanted to talk to you guys for like 5 seconds. I'm kind of shoving all of my like best tips into a call, because she's like, just talk. And I'm like, all right, whatever. But add value. Like, even if the only value you have, yes, Jenna, even if the only value you feel like you have to share today is something positive, then share that. Like, you know, if you look at my timeline recently, like, I've I felt kind of boring, and I feel like I probably am boring the people that are following me because I'm bored with myself because it's been raining here. And like, if it's not Beachbody, then I haven't really done anything lately. Like, Jake built me a table, but it rained, so I haven't stained it yet. So everybody's hanging, like waiting on to see my final project, but I got nothing because it's been raining for days. So he was just like adjusting the screws and stuff in our kitchen because he couldn't go outside. So, you know, like, if you feel like you're boring, then you are. Like, if all of your selfies look exactly the same, then like, I mean, you're boring. Like, move the camera, do something else, change the lighting. You know, like, even if all you do is share a meme that's completely different, at least that breaks up your timeline. So, but if you're like, okay, we as a company and as a group of coaches, like, I know that we can kind of get caught up in ourselves, in our heads, and whatever. If you're not doing personal development that you can share, if you are not being the light in this world, then nobody's going to want to follow you. You know, and that's been so important to me. And I know with, like, I don't know how y'all feel about politics and whatever, but like, I told my team this. I was like, look, stop freaking sharing news articles. Like, nobody wants to see that. And the people that share them and say stop sharing them are the worst. So like, don't be that person. And anyway, so be consistently positive. And if they're struggling with something, be vulnerable and share it, but share like how you're overcoming it. Because if you just share that you're having a crappy day, no one cares. And if you get a few of the sympathy, like, oh no, that sucks, you don't deserve this, whatever, like, that's not the kind of engagement you want. You want people to come to your page and be like, oh, finally, somebody that doesn't suck to follow, you know? So do that. And with your posts also, like, I have somebody on my team that I'm trying to teach this to. She's just not listening, but maybe she sees this and she'll hear me again because I've said it a bunch of times. But start with why. Like, not, oh, I love Beachbody products, or I love Beachbody workouts because they're 30 minutes and blah, blah, blah. Like, share with, oh, I had a busy day and like, I don't have time to do this, but I know that being healthy is important to me. So I make the time, and thankfully these programs are only 30 minutes. Do you see the difference? Like, that is so critical. And Start With Why is Simon Sinek. There are videos on YouTube. I can probably share one with you guys. The book is pretty good. Honestly, I got bored halfway through, but I mean, whatever, you get it. So, but like, start with why in your post and be positive. And, you know, obviously have this light for like well-lit, bright photos are going to catch your attention. My coach, Mandy, who's on the call, is really fabulous about this. All of her pictures, like, I'm totally drawn in by them. Because, well, she's a photographer, so she got some help on that one. But like, you know, like, just, if your page is not, if you wouldn't go to your page, no one else is going to. So kind of like look back at it and be like, all right, am I consistently posting about the stuff I want people to know about me? And if you're using the share button, stop. Just throwing that one out too. Who is that? Beth. Okay. So if you're bored, I'm bored. There was one other thing I was going to share with you guys, and now I've like lost my train on here. Totally forgot. Anybody have anything you want to hear me preach about for a minute? Until I couldn't remember what I was going to say. Team leader. Oh, and one other like random, this isn't random actually. So when I started coaching, like, y'all probably don't even know my sponsor. And like I said, I love her. But so I am under Katie, obviously, and then I'm under Liz. But like, then Kelly Horton, who we haven't seen in a while, and then one of Kelly's coaches actually sponsored me. So I am like literally assigned to someone that doesn't coach at all. Like, she used to run challenge groups. I'm fairly confident she's inactive right now, and that's okay. But when I started coaching, I spent so much time like I spent too much time on my phone, first of all, but I spent so much time researching this business and researching our products. Like I would sit at work because we could bring up YouTube, and I would sit at work and I would just watch people's transformation videos just to like feel empowered by what I had to offer. And I would go through the FAQ, and has everybody like looked at the policies and procedures? Do you know where to find it? Yes. Okay, good. Because this is really important. Okay. So we were at NLC. We played this trivia game. I wish I'd brought it in here so I could show you, but I now have a golden Sagi bobblehead that we won. Our team won because we knew the answers to the questions. But like, I was shocked. Like, yo, these people are 2-star and above that don't know the answers to some of these. And I knew them before I was even an Emerald coach because I've studied the policies and procedures. Like, I know how to search that FAQ, and I know what is on Google, and I know who the coaches are that share things. Like, I know Katie Hefner does PicMonkey tutorials, and they're on her blog in YouTube. I know that Shay Stanford is the only person you need to know if you need something about Shakeology. You know, like I know that Inside Shakeology is literally the best thing ever because Darren O'Lean, again, will make you believe in like I want to go be his assistant. I don't care what I have to do. I will carry his backpack and ride on a donkey, but I want to go like help this man find superfoods. So like that's like, if I could do anything, because my whole mission in life is really to travel. If I could do anything, I would be Darren O'Lean's assistant. Like just sign me up. And if you don't feel that way, again, you need to do some more research. But, you know, as a new coach, like I didn't post in groups and ask questions that could easily be found on the FAQ or on Google. So if you find yourself posting in a group just to like either share negativity or to ask a question that you haven't searched yet, don't. Like go, because I promise you will learn more by like finding the wrong stuff than finding even what you're looking for. So like, you know, you search for Success Club and then you're like, oh, wait, I didn't realize I had to have the club membership to get leads. Like that matters, you know, stuff like that. You'll learn if you spend more time searching and less time asking. So, you know, and if you do ask a question, my personal like suggestion, I know most of y'all aren't my team, but my personal suggestion for the team is if you post in my team page, I want you to tell me where you've already looked. Like, show me that you tried to find it, and then I'll go Google it for you. But if I find it in the first thing of Google or the FAQ, then my response is you were not being resourceful enough. And sometimes people will say, oh, I don't have time to look this up. Could you help me with this? Okay, that's different. But if you're posting like every day because you just don't know the answers because you're too lazy to look it up, then you are doing yourself a disservice. So anyway, that's how I learned in the beginning. It's how I knew like what to do. It's how I had this belief in our company because I spent the time reading the policies and procedures and searching random words in the FAQ and watching YouTube. And I would just let the videos just keep playing. Like I'd be like, all right, T25 results. All right, all these people did T25. And some of the videos super annoying. I hate your music. Next. But like some of them, like, God, just lit this fire in me, even though I hated T25 to like go do that workout. So anyway, that's kind of like how I started. It's how what I continue to do to this day. I'm trying to be really consistent about following up with people. I'm not like in the beginning of my business, and y'all may have experienced this too. Like I let a lot of people slip through the cracks. And so now I'm having to like go back and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. Like 2 years ago, I talked to you and I suck, but I never like followed up with you. Do you hate me? Will you be my friend? Want to join a challenge group? So, you know, like Jenna said, this is my 36th month in Success Club. It's my 36th month as a coach. My first year, don't do this either. I'll give you this too. We only have 10 minutes left. So I'll give you one more, like Katherine did this, don't do this. When I started coaching, Success Club 5 and Success Club 10 didn't make any difference. So, you know, we earn the same leads for 5. And now, you know, you get customer leads at 5 and Success Club leads at 10. So now 10 is really better. But back then it didn't matter. So in the very beginning, I was like, all right, well, I had the scarcity mentality. Like, all right, well, if I don't hit, like I have to hit 5 this month. So it's okay if I don't hit 10. Do you have any idea how many times I hit 8? Like 8, guys. So, now like I shoot for 10. 5 is an absolute non-negotiable. But think of all the money that I just left on the table that first year and a half or whatever before they changed that policy. Because no, it didn't matter for the leads. It didn't matter for All-Star. It didn't matter for any of that. But think of all the money that I left and all the people I didn't help. However it is you need to phrase it to like feel that. But like I think back on that and I'm like, God, if I can do this for 36 months, then anybody can do it for 3 to earn your success starter ticket. You can do it for a year to be an all-star. And granted, we all like, there have been months where like the last 3 days, I'm like, oh my God, like this, like, oh God, like how am I going to make this happen? Like, Mom, please buy a challenge pack kind of thing. But and my dad's bought one. I haven't used my brother yet. So I'm like saving him for for an emergency. But, there are lots of different ways out there, like pages and I've started using landing pages and, I have 1,000 people in my customer list, but like, so there are lots of places where I can improve, but where, Jenna was right is I've been so consistent about no matter what, I hit Success Club 5. No matter what, I post about my programs. And I will tell you that when my business boomed the most was when I was doing Insanity Max 30, and I posted every daggum day my max out time, every day. And I did it December and January. So it was like through Christmas. And so all these people are like eating cookies and I'm doing Insanity Max 30. So I showed people that they could be consistent with it, and I'm not consistent with my nutrition. If any of y'all are really good at meal planning, like shoot them this way because Katherine sucks at it. Katherine would rather eat Girl Scout cookies, but I can work out with the best of them. So, and I'm very, very consistent about that in my Shakeology. So, and those 2 things are the most important, honestly. Like, one last thing. Don't do this because I'm tired of seeing it. If your pictures of your food are ugly, freaking don't put it on Facebook. Gag, right? So anyway, but if you do have a really good recipe, I'd really love it. So we have like 5 minutes. So I guess if y'all have any questions or anything you want me to preach about, because I told her I was just going to talk. So I was just going to preach about my life. And
so I'll say this too, Katherine, is that, I really have watched you over the like 2-ish years that I've been a coach. So I didn't see you from like the very, very beginning, but 2.5 years. Oh my God. I've been a coach for a really long time. And like watched you, but like even hearing you talk, I'm like, oh, see, this is why I like you so much, because like all the things you listed off, I'm like, oh, that's me. So,
you're my dad.
But yeah, I have a question for you.
Okay.
If there was one thing that like you could go back and redo at the beginning, what would it be? What would that one thing be?
God, one thing, really?
You can only do one.
I probably would have committed more to the nutrition. I would have shared transformation, like my personal transformation, way more consistently. And I would have been way more upfront with all of that in the very beginning if I were going to do it from like a personal, like building standpoint. The other thing I would have done, I know you said one, but these are different. Like that one's personal, this one's business. I would have spent less time focusing on the people that were all talk and less doing. Like I spent a lot of time, and I still kind of a little bit. My husband, like I'll say a name and he's like, "Why are you still talking about her?" And I'm like, "I just know." And I can't remember who said it, but what is that? Craig Holiday. Don't fall in love with potential. Like, don't fall in love with the potential. And I did that so many times. And, I have a coach on my team that's been an emerald. Like, I think she may have made me diamond. She has 5 or 6 active coaches. And that's as far as she's ever gotten. Like, and I just knew she was going to be my first diamond, and like, you never know. So don't discount anybody, but don't put like all of your love and faith into like a handful of people, because it's exhausting. And like all you're doing is focusing your energy where you shouldn't, because if you focused it elsewhere, you would have new people to, to bring that enthusiasm to the team. So I think those are probably the two things I would have done differently. And shoot, I should still probably give up the Girl Scout cookies, but let's be real.
All right. Does anyone else have any questions?
Comments? I will also say, like, no matter what, you have to be posting on social media. Like, I don't really care what you're saying, but you have to do something. And I've used Mandy as an example, but she's the face I can see that's on my team. Mandy signed up with me January 1st of this year, and she's literally been watching me for the last 3 years. And she sent me a message, and she's like, all right, like, you're the only person, I want to be on your team. Like, you're so consistent. I know that you're not going anywhere. I know what you've done. I want to be on your team. And she's so close to diamond, y'all. Like, she's so close. So, like, she's never liked or commented on anything. So don't get wrapped up in who's liking and commenting on your stuff, because they're watching.
Yeah, that's a really good point too. I'm going to stop recording.